This is where the fun begins.
Get ready for raw, unfiltered Razorback talk. Nobody knows what they'll say next. It's time to go inside the hog pen with Razorback Zach, Marcus MC Carlton, and Sarah Swish Vogel.
What's up, everybody, for the first time in 2024? Hi, it's good to be home. Let me tell you, MC, it's finally good to be back in the pen. I am your host, Razorback Zach from the Central Arkansas Studios, as always. And we've got new intros, man. Shout out to my boy MC for working on that while I was gone. Thank you, by the way, to you, Sarah, and D-Mad from the man cave for holding it down. But man, it's good to be home.
Yeah, everything feels normal now.
I leave you alone for 4 weeks and everything changes, man. I can't take this anymore. But
well, and it was funny because if you could have seen my editor and the way I was working on it, was the equivalent of, sketching out this big idea and then ripping the sheet off the paper, curling it up and throwing it to the side and starting over. I can't tell you how many times I did that. But
I've been there myself a time or two. Trust me, I've been there a time or two myself. Hey, hope everybody's staying safe, and I really hope everybody's staying warm. It is still an icy Central Arkansas, as most of us are here in the state. I don't know about South Arkansas though, but. We melted out a little bit today, but it's still like side roads are still kind of a mess if you're not used. If you don't have any experience in driving, then stay on the main roads if you can, because side roads are still pretty rough up here. Hey, I've got experience driving. Ain't no way I'm driving very far in this stuff. No.
Hey, I drove down to North Little Rock Monday.
You did. You braved the elements.
Yeah. Now the interstate was fine. Interstate was fine. Only problem I had was it was a little dicey getting to Highway 67, to take it all the way down. And then it was fine until I got all the way to, that Academy Sports right before you get to the McCain Boulevard exit. Yeah. From about right there, the rest of the way in was pretty dicey. But that was it.
Yeah, it's interesting, but hope everybody's staying safe. Hope everybody's staying warm. And we will thaw out eventually. I can't make any promises as to when because it's Arkansas. But I'll tell you, for the 2 weeks I was down in Florida, it was not bad weather. It was a little cool, but nothing as bad as y'all had up here. I mean, I've heard y'all had snow and tornadoes in the same day. So
like in about a 2-day span, we went from flash flooding and straight line winds and tornadoes to looking like the movie The Day After Tomorrow. I mean, it was unreal.
That's pretty funny. Hey, make sure you guys leave us a review. Tell us what you like. Tell us what you don't like. Tell me when to shut the hell up. Tell MC that he's better than me. Hey, anything as long as you give us a positive review. I don't care. As long as it's positive, why do we care what you say?
Wow, we just like the feedback. I mean, if you want to tell me I suck, just tell me why. Tell me why you think that.
Here's the key, MC. They can say whatever they want. They don't know what we're going to say.
Yeah. Nobody knows what we're going to say until it comes out.
Nobody knows. And that's dangerous for me, if y'all know this. Hey, make sure you guys are subscribed to our podcast. We've got some big things coming up in 2024 as far as podcast exclusives. We got some super fan stuff we're going to start working on and some things that you're only going to find on our podcast channel. So make sure anywhere you guys listen to podcasts, go on Inside the Hog Pen, HAWG. I got to spell it out for some of you.
Yep.
It's okay. It's all right. Make sure you guys are subscribed there. And then got to give a shout out to my girl, by the way. She competed in the Disney Dopey Challenge, which is like I told you guys all year last year, was a 5K, 10K, half marathon, full marathon. She did get all 4 medals. She did not get the other 2. Unfortunately, she did tear her ACL in the half marathon. However, I did tell her that she could get rehabbed up And then I made a deal with Captain Evil, and I was going to run it with her in 2026. Dear God, MC, I've made a deal with the devil. What have I done?
Well, and see, now you've told all of us, so now we're all going to hold you accountable too.
That's the scary part. That's what I'm afraid of. But gonna have some fundraising efforts coming up in the next couple of months. So I'm depending on all of you to help me out and help us get back to Disney. But congratulations to Katie for her first attempt, and she is going to rehab and get back to it in 2026. But that's not why we're here. Why we're here is
first time we got to play this in a while.
You know, for a little while, I didn't know if we were ever going to be able to play that song again.
I about forgot what that sounded like. It sounds really good,
right? So Arkansas,
and we came this close to not getting to play it again.
Hey! A win's a win. It wasn't a pretty win, but it was a win.
It was a win.
Arkansas gets their first conference win of the season, thankfully, against Texas A&M last night on a last-second prayer by who made that? Was that Mark that made that final?
Tremont Mark, yeah.
He beats them. We defeat Texas A&M 78-77. Before we get started, though, MC, into this, I got to jump into the Hog Wild left hand feedback. David Haslett says, greetings from chilly Central Texas. Boy, I bet you it's a little bit warmer there than
how chilly is it, David? We need to know, because we've basically been living on the planet Hoth here in Arkansas for the last little bit.
Right. Jesse Randall Thurman says he's back. I had this whole grand entrance thing. And then copyright and YouTube decided it was just going to have their.
Yeah, they're being difficult.
They're being, you know what? I can't say that. I can't say that because it might
be difficult.
It might hurt some people's feelings, MC.
We'll leave it there.
But we've got royalty in the house. Speaking of, Mama Linda's in the house. She says, hi, guys. Welcome back. Thank you, Mama Linda. And then, of course, Casey Sutton. Hey, I do want to give a shout out to Casey. Not only has she beaten cancer's ass twice, but when I run the Dopey Challenge in 2026, I did reach out to her before I was announcing this. I am going to be running it in honor of her because I will be an American Cancer Society runner, like Katie. And so I reached out to Casey and I said, I'd love to run in honor of you because you've beaten cancer's ass twice. So big shout out to Casey. Brad Staten, my dude, you guys got more snow than we did in Colorado, but our temps were about negative 40 degree wind chill. So there's that. You know what, dude? I'm good. I'm good with the whole.
I think the worst it got here in NEA. I think we had wind chill of negative 15 at one point.
We had negative.
That's more than. When you get down to the negative numbers, what difference does it really make at that point? Because it's just damn cold at that point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And anybody that says this is better than 105 temps, y'all need to go check yourselves.
No. Y'all are sociopaths. No, I would much rather be floating the river with a tube on my side with a cooler right there and my little Bluetooth speaker right here, just cruising on down the river.
Right. Dylan Madden says, I heard there's some, if I can get it to work, I've heard there's some magic knee rehab in Dallas. I've heard that too.
Yeah.
Don't know how well that's worked out for some people.
Dallas, and there's one out in LA as well.
Yeah. Chuck Pendergrass says, what's up, guys? Brad State says, I should clear up my statement. More snow than Colorado Springs. Some of the mountains got 50 plus inches. No. You can keep
that's like almost 5 feet. 60 inches is 5 feet. So
you can keep all of that.
No.
Arkansans can't drive in an inch and a half. What makes you think they can drive in 50 inches?
They can't. Hey, most Arkansans can't drive in perfect, 70 degrees and sunny weather.
Lord, it was, and I'm gonna tell you, being in Dallas, being in Orlando, it was great not having to drive for 2 weeks. But I got back and I was like, how do I do this again?
Yeah,
it was weird for the longest time. Mama Linda says, "Oh, Zach, that's awesome and special of you. Thank you. Hey, more thank you to you guys, man. More thank you to all of you. All of you." Brad Staten jumps in. First question of the night. He says, what did you guys think of the Devo kick? Has he turned into a dirty player, as some people say? MC, I'm going to let you take that one because you're more of a basketball guru than I am.
Well, when I first saw it in regular speed, I didn't think it was I didn't think it was worthy of going to review it. Now, for as much crap as I gave the referees all night, I have to give them props on that one, because when you look at it on the review in slow-mo, it's pretty sketch. I don't know that it was worthy of a flagrant 2, in my opinion. Now, I don't know the rule book inside and out, but flagrant 2s I thought were reserved for like blows to the head, and not going to play on the ball. I don't know that I've ever seen an offensive player driving the lane like that and get a flagrant 2. I would have been okay with a flagrant 1, because I felt like he did kind of extend his leg a little bit. But, I think if he hits him anywhere other than, the nether regions, it's probably not a big deal. But because of where he made contact, I think that played into it as well.
Okay, so for those of us, more me than anything else, kind of walk through what the difference is between a flagrant 1 and a flagrant 2, just so people can kind of know what the difference is, so we kind of know what we're talking about.
Okay, my internet kind of hung up on me. So repeat that question for me.
So for those of us, me primarily, that don't know the difference between what a flagrant 1 and a flagrant 2 is, kind of walk us through what that is so they know what the difference is.
Flagrant 1 is, let me see if I can figure out how to, almost like an intentional foul, where you see like late in the game and somebody's going for layup and they just kind of push them. It'd be a flagrant 1. Flagrant 2 is like a blow to the head and making no attempt to make a play on the ball. So like if you come down, guy's coming down for a layup and he swings wildly like this and doesn't come close to the ball but hits the guy in the head, that's a flagrant 2. A play kicking a dude in the nether regions as you're driving the lane is also a flagrant 2. So it's just a difference. It's to try to cut down on dirty play. Here's the way I look at it. Me personally, F1, I don't really consider dirty. F2's pretty dirty. I mean, if it's going to cause you to get an ejection, it's pretty dirty.
Right. So we've seen it a lot, and of course, I saw it when I was in high school. When you go for a shot and you're up in the air, they kick their leg out. Would that be considered a flagrant 1 or a foul? I mean, or is that they just kind of let that slide because it happens every year?
So if you go back a few years with me to when Moses Moody was playing, Moses was the king at getting fouled on 3-pointers because he would kick his leg out and initiate contact. They, being NCAA rules committee, whomever, they have really cracked down on offensive players trying to, initiate that contact by kicking their leg way out. And that has, I've seen that called as a flagrant 1 a few times. But, Brad Staten's got a good breakdown of it here. I'm going to throw this up real quick. So, flagrant 1, basically he's saying the foul is not a legitimate attempt to directly play the ball within the spirit and the intent of the rules. So you're not trying to defend at that point. You're just trying to take a hit on somebody. F2, or as he's got it here listed, C2, the foul is an excessive hard contact caused by player in an effort to play the ball. So like somebody comes down with a rebound, they start swinging elbow and they bust a guy in the mouth. Probably going to be an F2.
We used to do that all the time. I mean, that was how.
Well,
that's how we were taught. I mean,
when I played ball, I was taught get your chicken wings out.
That's how we were taught.
Guys off of.
Yeah, that's how we were taught. So, I mean, to me,
the rules have changed over the years. I mean, I could go on a whole tangent about how it's difficult to play defense now because of the way the rules have changed towards officiating, and it gives the offense an advantage over the defense because, most everybody wants to see scores of 105 to 104 rather than 61-60. So it's very difficult to play defense now.
Speaking of my other half, she has finally made it to the show. What's up, KD? She is currently snowed in. I think she's ready to get back to work herself, just like a bunch of us. But yeah, I mean, overall, I mean, the first half of this game last night is something that we've wanted to see for quite a while. And we built up again.
It's the Duke game.
it's been I feel like we have talked about this and talked about this. Excuse me.
Yes.
But at some point, we have to sustain the lead. I mean, we went from playing to win the game, and I said this in our team chat with all of us here at ITHP.
And you were spot on with it too.
I said you could tell the moment that we shifted from playing to win the game to playing not to lose.
Absolutely.
And again, what I'm about to say, I'm probably going to catch 9 kinds of hell for it. But I'm going to say it because everybody else is thinking it. Ronald McDonald needs to quit changing his hair color and play some freaking basketball. I'm talking about Trevin Brazil. Okay. I got it. Okay, so
funny that you mentioned him. I just happen to have his stat line pulled up.
Here's the point I'm trying to make, and I'm not going to call anybody out because this is a good dude that I had a conversation, and it was an actual debate. It was a conversation. It wasn't one of those we were attacking each other.
Yeah.
Adam Hall over at Hawg HQ, good dude. They got great content. He made the comment that he would, people are starting to pick on what these guys do personally with their, with their hair, their nails, and all this, and he wanted to have more conversations about what he was seeing on the court. And I said, but Adam, at this point, we've talked about it. It's like the football team. We've talked about the lack of fundamentals and the lack of leadership and what ifs and all this. People are going to start transferring, going, okay, they're starting to care more about how they look versus the play, winning a ball game. But, by the way, Adam, Matt, DQ, their DP, y'all do a fantastic job. I am not singling him out under any circumstances. I was using that as a base. I was using his.
No,
I was
using we can have healthy debate on it, and
he was saying, but like I said, there's only so much that you can say and talk about the fundamentals. Could have, would have, should have. They've got to do this. They've got to do this. At some point, it just gets repetitive.
Well, and at what point do we start? Let me see. I got to approach this gingerly.
Do you though?
At what point do we start questioning Muss for putting the same guys out there over and over and over and not getting the results? And nobody needs to take that to mean that I'm on the fire Muss train. I'm as far from that as you can get. But you're getting. You did have a little bit of change in your lineup, and the chemistry seemed to be a little better on the court, at least for the first half. But the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over and over and expecting a different result. We talked about that during football season too, because we had a very similar situation there, trying to do the same thing when it come to 3rd and short or 4th and short, and it just seems like, well, first off, I think I told you this before we got on the air tonight. This whole team feels like an arranged marriage. It doesn't feel like a team. It feels like a bunch of individuals who have been thrown together, and you're trying to force feed chemistry on the fly, and it doesn't work that way. And I mean, you brought up Brazil, so I'm going to go there too, man. Dude is playing soft right now. I mean, I'm looking at his stat line from last night. He played 34 minutes last night, 1 out of 5 from the field. Which we got to get, if he's the same dude that was listed as preseason all conference, he's got to get more than 5 shots. 0 or 2 from 3-point range. I'll give him credit here. He made his free throws. The whole team made their free throws last night. He was 6 out of 8. He had 5 defensive rebounds. Here's one that glares to me. It's not a red flag. It's a flashing red neon light. Okay. 0 offensive rebounds. For Trevon.
That's been this, but see, MC, that has been this team's Achilles heel from day
100%.
One.
Yeah.
Okay. And if you look, all of Muss's teams have a problem getting the offensive boards.
You know how many offensive rebounds we had on the whole game?
Every single team he has ever had at Arkansas has had a problem getting offensive boards.
You know how many offensive rebounds we had for the whole game?
Less than 10.
2.
Okay.
That 1, 2.
You can't have that.
A&M had 19. You can't give your opponent 19 second chances to score. I mean, the fact that Arkansas was able to hold on to this game is almost nothing short of a miracle, because it was definitely a tale of two halves. First half, I thought they did pretty well keeping Wade Taylor in check. We were making shots. We were moving the ball. We didn't rebound, but we shot the ball really well. We shot first half. Let's see. We shot 54% from the field in the first half, including 5 out of 10 from 3-point range. You're not going to have many opportunities for offensive rebounds at that point. I got no problem there.
MC, wasn't A&M like 1 for 5 at the half?
Yeah, let me just 1 second. Let me scroll this up. I can give you what they were.
You're gonna
A&M.
Go ahead.
In the first half, A&M shot 1 out of 15 from 3-point range.
Oh, 1 out of 15. Holy crap.
1 out of 15. Yeah.
Let me run through some of these comments. We're going to take a break, and we'll be joined by our third member of the broadcast team.
Yeah, I'm anxious to see what she has to say about this, because she was there last night. So.
Yeah. Carolyn Williams, big-time fan of the show, says this team will go down as unfulfilled potential. This team's, you know what? I can't say that either. I was going to say something else, but I'm going to leave that one alone too. Jesse Randall Thurman says 3 hours for a work night game with an 8 p.m. tip-off is ridiculous. I get up at 3:30, so that doesn't leave much time for sleep. Hey, man, I'm right there with you. I usually work 3:30 to noon every day. So, and coming off a 3 weeks vacation, trying to get back into the groove is not easy. So trust me, I get it. Dan Yoakum wants to know, he says, what's your thought on the 2 players celebrating with the smoking a joint simulation?
I saw this, and I'm surprised Twitter didn't blow up about it. I think it was Brazil and Davenport, I think, who had it, because it was after one of those times where we had called time, or A&M had called timeout after we'd been on a run, and it was I noticed it, but I didn't bring it up because I wanted to see what kind of noise it caused. We'll put it that way.
So with that, we're going to take a quick break. When we come back, Sarah Swish Vogel finally joins us, and the whole team is back in the pen. You're listening to Inside the Hog Pen on the Sideline Radio Network. Back in 60 seconds. All right, welcome back to Inside the Hog Pen on the Sideline Radio Network. We now have officially all of our crew in the pen tonight. What is up, Hambone? How are you in Northwest Arkansas?
Cold.
Cold, very gingerly, MC. She says, cold.
We were pulling a car out of the snow. It's not fun.
Oh, my. I hope everybody.
Not literally. I was not doing any of the work, really. I was standing there, but still.
Now, she was directing traffic. Kind of how she does with you and me sometimes, MC.
Yeah, basically. I was just supervising.
Pretty much.
So we were talking about, of course, we were talking about, first segment, we're talking about the new intro. I don't know if you caught it, Sarah, but MC put a new intro for us together for the show here in 2024.
Later.
and
wish
you're
you
in it.
were.
You're actually in it.
I made it.
Yeah, you made the big times now. But we're talking about the A&M game last night. I mean, you were there. First off, I have to ask because I saw this on Twitter, and I have to know if it was true or not. Did the pipes actually bust at Bud Walton Arena?
I'm not going to lie. Once I'm in my seat, I'm not getting up, so I have no idea.
So I'm going to name drop somebody. Teeter had put out that the pipes had busted at Bud Walton, but it had not reached the floor. I did not know how true that was, but...
I mean, the bathrooms were open, so I don't know where or which pipes burst.
The announcers did make reference to it, but they said that it was in the back part of the arena, not anywhere near the floor.
Oh, okay. Yeah, it was probably just some random pipe, honestly.
I got
you. Yeah.
So
I don't know. Everything was good to go when I got there.
Okay. All right. So we're going to jump back in here. And Sarah, by the way, feel free, like you always have, to jump in when you've got comments on the games and stuff. Jesse Randall Thurman once again chimes in and says, Trevon is just playing soft. Hair color or nails ain't got jack to do with effort or playing style. Devo has something going on with
the ego.
The way he turned away from teammates trying to help him up.
Well, I sent y'all the picture before the game of Trevin literally sitting on the bench while the team's warming up, which normally would not bother me like one bit, which he was messing with his arm and it looked like he had scraped his arm. And so he had a bandage on it for the rest of the game. Oh, Zach just dipped out. But he literally just sat there and it wasn't a long period of time, but it was a good 2-3 minutes of him just chilling while everybody else was getting shots. And then as soon as he stood up, he like demanded the ball, was like, let me shoot. And I'm like, you've been sitting for 3 minutes. You had plenty of time to shoot and then got mad about it.
Well, and so the piece of it that bothers me is that, if he's coming out, let me see if I'm going to jump back in here or not. Man, my internet's all over the place tonight. I apologize for that.
All of ours,
but it bothers me about it. If he's putting up 15 and 10 every night consistently, all right, dude, you want to go sit down during warm-ups? Cool. Give me the 15 and 10. But dude hadn't been putting up anything. I mean, what did he have last night? What did he end up with? He ended up with 8 total points last night.
Yeah, I was like, he wasn't.
6 of it came from the free throw line.
Mm-hmm.
Chris Faraci.
No, 6 of his 8 points came from the free throw line.
Yeah. And then
he's not playing very well right now.
I think it's my same comment with Devo, because that last comment mentioned Devo's attitude too. I think they're getting played up, and they think they're veterans and deserve something. And I love Devo to death. I'm a Devo stan over here, but I don't think he deserved to get kicked out last night.
Everybody likes Devo. I mean, he's one of the fan favorites.
Yeah. He definitely didn't deserve to get kicked out last night, but it wasn't there was another time when Mitchell got his tech that I honestly thought that was on Devo, because Devo was pushed a guy too. He's done it every single game. And I don't know if I really would need to go back and watch like the last 2 years. I've not seen him do that before. And I don't know why he's suddenly doing it now. Or he's been doing it for 3 years and we've just not noticed it until now. Because he's been hitting shots. So it actually looked like he was doing something else. Yeah. But he's not hitting shots. He's not doing anything good. His defense looks like beep. Because, dear Lord, if 4 hit another shot, I was going to go teach them how to play defense, and I sucked at defense. That's how bad it was.
I mean, we didn't have anybody keep up with him with Taylor last night.
No.
I mean, and he got, like I was telling Zach before you came on, where we messed up with that dude was we let him get in a rhythm right out of the gate to start the second half.
No,
his first half,
he changed
I felt like
his
we
shoes.
contained him pretty well.
He changed his shoes midway through the first half. That's what made him good. He had not hit a shot until midway through the first half when he changed his shoes.
Well, but I mean, Buzz Williams changed his entire damn outfit.
I didn't notice the shoe change. They were just all about the change.
Four had to start the game. He had on blue pair of shoes.
That's
we were laughing because they all had on a bunch of different pair of shoes. And then halfway through the first half, he comes out in some like black, red, like fire flame shoes. And I was like, and Buzz changing at halftime. We knew who wasn't coaching at halftime because Buzz was in the changing room.
You're right.
So
let me see if I can find.
Is it just me, or did Buzz? Could Buzz not pass as like a long lost brother of Mike Neighbors?
Look
to me, he looked like a shorter, chubbier version of Mike Neighbors.
Okay, while everybody was really focused on Buzz, there was this guy at the end of the bench that had like slicked back gray hair. He was in a pinstripe suit.
Yes.
Dude drove me insane the entire game. He was up and down the court, up and down the sideline. I'm like, homie, you're an assistant coach and you're putting way too much effort in.
I think he was the one coaching more than Buzz was.
Oh, for sure. I'm telling you, like, that man was everywhere. He was driving me nuts.
So over here,
Twitter was lighting him up about having like the magician's vest on.
Yeah,
it was so bad, y'all.
Carolyn
it was
Williams
so bad. I was right there.
Carolyn Williams will know. Does it bug anyone else that the whole first several rows of the bench are his enormous staff and the players are all down at the end? You can't coach people who can't hear you or approach you. Sarah?
So my seat was literally behind that goal. When I tell you I was roasting those guys, because there's one guy who he was wearing a different team's emblem on his quarter zip. So I was roasting him the entire time. Like, you obviously didn't even play for a D1 school. You have a D3 jacket on. Like,
he had a different
team's emblem on his little jacket. He was getting roasted, and every time he would stand up, be like, yeah. And I'm like, yeah, you played at a D3. And he would just look at me and be like, because I was right there.
MC, Brad brings up a good point that you had brought up earlier in the show. He says in the past, Muss has been able to bring them together, and I'm not seeing it so far this year.
Some personalities aren't going to come together.
In my opinion.
I just, MC, Sarah, MC and I were talking in pre-show. We're going to have to get the automatic bid to make March. We're going to have to win the damn tournament in order to make it. Because I don't think this is the magical turning point that everybody thinks it is. 4 games into conference play when you're,
we lost a 20-point lead.
Yeah, exactly.
To one player, not even a whole team, one player.
Yeah. I'm looking, and he
had 41 points, I think. How can you not
they had when he one other dude in double digits.
Yeah. And 10 fouled out and 13 fouled out. They're 2 biggest players. That's the whole reason everybody wanted Makai on the floor. Oh, that's a whole.
Right. So okay. So answer me, because I haven't been able to watch basketball. Like I said, I spent the last 8-10 days in Orlando, Florida.
I was in the Virgin Islands drinking happy hour, trying to avoid watching the games.
I was watching Katie do her thing with the Disney Marathon, and I happened to catch part of the score from one of the games that was on, and then I finally sat down and watched the game last night, and it just. Muss's teams here at Arkansas are known. I mean, it's well known that they struggle at the backside of non-con play, and then they go, 1-4, 2-3, 0-3 to start the conference, and then magically somehow end up in the Sweet 16 or even the Elite 8. I don't see the gelling. I mean, how did we go from Purdue to this?
Well, how do we go from Duke to this? I mean,
Duke is not a good team.
This is not
the story.
Duke. You can't put the measuring stick in Duke.
Is down by standards. They're down.
You can't.
Yeah, but they're still a top 10 ranked team.
As much as I was hyped about Duke, that game doesn't matter because they actually suck now. Purdue, though, I felt like I agree. Purdue was like the first game as a team. And so I felt like they came out firing on all circuits and actually as a team. And then as they started to play more games, people started to get more selfish, more chatty, apparently telling Muss, you can't talk to me that way, that type of stuff. Purdue was that first game.
Yeah, so
we were hitting.
So who was that in your opinion? I mean, I know you got a take on who you think said that. I
think it's bad. I think it's Battle. Everybody says it's Blocker, but I think it's Battle.
I mean,
because he did not see the floor last night one bit.
But I mean, then explain Blocker's absence.
Freshman. But the one play he came in on, that one dang play, he got us the ball back. They might have had to review it, but we got it back.
Yep.
Should we mention?
And it was a hustle play by him, and for him to come in at that juncture, having not played. Yeah.
Should we mention?
I mean,
should we mention?
He's,
the boy, Joe Pinion.
Bench him.
It is what it is.
Jerry was knocking him down last night. I don't need white boy.
Oh, hello. Jesse Randall Thurman says Muss is 500 in the month of January.
Watch out. Devo gonna come after you.
In his career at Arkansas is what I heard on the.
Oh, I want to keep him. I want to keep him in case we need a shooter. But Jerry was hitting last night. Leave hot Jerry in. Like he was the hot hand. Leave him in. If Jerry wouldn't have been hot, I wouldn't have been opposed to throwing Pinion out there for a few plays.
Brandon Laughlin says, almost forgot, but I'm here. What's up, guys? Hey, man. Hey, we look, I'm trying to knock the rust off after being gone for almost a month because apparently I've made comments that I have no idea what I made while I was off air, according to some people on Twitter.
Thanks.
But it's a change for all of us here, Brandon. So don't feel bad. But I mean, in regards to this thing, because you got
fighting internet issues, so I apologize.
Yeah, you're at home again this week. I mean, you start a homestand. You got South Carolina coming in Saturday afternoon, Saturday morning, Saturday afternoon.
Yeah, and if my boss is watching, can you please let me off so I can go? Because when I'm there, we win.
Well, that explains a whole hell of a lot.
Well, not only that, but I need to hook up again. I need to hook up on one of those little Muss bobbleheads.
I got that already in the works because I'm getting one even if I don't go to the game because I get a priority entrance ticket, so I get in early.
I didn't get a jersey, so I'd like a bobblehead too. You know,
that's in the process too.
I'm gone 4 weeks, and all of a sudden, MC gets all the nice stuff. I get all the secondhand merch.
Y'all got stuff. Turn around and look at your wall and be quiet.
I don't know what you're talking about. Oh, and there he goes. There he goes. Yeah.
I'm really proud of that, by the way.
I get no love here, y'all. I get no love. No love at all.
You're a football person, so if they give out football jerseys, I'll get you one.
Katie's got my back. I got to go to Disney.
And then get hurt or whatever you did.
She got hurt. I did not.
Oh, I thought you were sick or hurt or something too.
I rolled my ankle because I'm old and can't walk straight. Not a word, Sarah. Not a word.
I ended up with a massive ear infection I still can't hear out of this ear. So,
and then of course you got Brad Staten hating on me. Zach wants a bobblehead or is a bobblehead. It depends on
both.
Yes.
Right. Look at this. Look. I'm getting hate from everybody now.
Brandon.
Yeah, I mean you did. Yeah, that's an excellent point from D-Mad.
Brandon's commenting. If you want tickets, I'm on Facebook. I can possibly help you out. Especially if the roads are still slick on Saturday.
I get no love. But like I said, here's the game information for Saturday. South Carolina noon on the network. We are on the mainland, not on Plus or Minus or, the app or whatever.
No. We're not on the mainland.
Start on ESPN News. So.
Yeah, we haven't made it to ESPN
I was going to say,
yet.
unless like Marty and McGee runs long, we should start on time. But
because there's nothing before us.
So.
We got Marty and McGee before us.
Yeah, I think it's rebroadcast of Marty and McGee, I think is what it is. So we should be good to go to get started on time on the right channel.
Trying to make one more banner here. Because I forgot one. Yeah, right. Brandon says, send me an invite or a PM, Sarah.
All right. So, Sarah.
Can do after the show.
Go ahead, MC.
So what? Well, I was just gonna, what was the vibe inside the arena last night with the Foul Fest? I mean, you're damn near a 3-hour basketball game that just went regulation. It was like 2 hours and 45 minutes.
Honestly, Twitter and at home, people were complaining more than us in there. Us in there were complaining more about the actual calls, but not about like the length. Like I didn't even realize it had been such a long game until I left and I was like, oh, Walmart's closed. I was going to get groceries after the game. Like that's not happening. Like, that's when I realized how long the game was.
So
because I didn't get out to my car till 11. That's 3 hours.
So football lasts about 3 hours, but so what does an average basketball game run? I mean, I'm going to play the dumb card here.
220, an hour per half with a halftime.
Okay,
something like that.
I mean, hey, at least the lights work. At least the lights work.
Yeah, thanks, Simmons Bank Arena. Did they work at WWE for you, MC?
Well, yeah, but there's a story there because WWE had to change their entire setup because
no one showed up.
Had they used their original setup that they use at like all the other arenas, apparently the officials at Simmons Bank were concerned that it was going to put too much weight on the lighting and potentially cause damage. So they had to completely change their normal setup that they use 52
Simmons
weeks
Bank's
a year.
the problem.
They had to change it and go with like a backup system.
So that's why it looked like a house show setup.
They
were talking about that on everybody. All the wrestling heads were talking about that on Twitter and stuff. Brandon wants to know, says, I know it's way out, but has anybody heard when the spring red-white game is? Ain't it usually the second weekend of April? Nobody has heard anything yet, unless Sarah's.
I am with an organization that does some stuff, and I think it's that same weekend. I'll have to look at the schedule they sent us.
Okay. MC, did you hear? She's with an organization
on campus. We just do I run a table that just gives away free stuff.
Yeah.
What are you, with the mafia? With an organization. All right. So in lieu of a break,
try to find my way up there for the spring game.
We need to all get up there for the spring game. That would be wild.
Yeah.
So here's another thing that a couple of fans have wanted to talk about, since we're going to try to keep it short, because I don't know about y'all, but I don't want to talk about football. Diamond Hogs are 30 days away. 30 days. Do we have expectations?
Bringing it out.
I mean, there it is. The first appearance.
It was ready. I just was moving a car. It's not basketball. It's baseball season.
So what's our expectations as far as baseball goes? Let's talk about early expectations here.
Oh, Daddy. He's going to do so good this year.
Go for it.
I'm so ready to watch
I'm really trying to contain my excitement because I have been so disappointed with football and basketball both that I'm really wanting to, put a big governor type deal on my expectations for baseball and just kind of slowly let it slow burn instead of douse, double fist in the Kool-Aid.
Well, no, we're going to be double fisting the Kool-Aid in the hog pen.
Well, I tell you, I made it. Of course, we need to get. Hey, by the way, Sarah, I need to talk to you about a topic, baseball topic off air. As the season approaches, it's for the show. I promise.
Okay.
I made a deal with a buddy of mine. Everybody knows that I'm good friends with Trevor Kaiser up on the hill. I made a deal with him because of, he and I drank the Kool-Aid for football, and we see what happened. He drank the Kool-Aid for basketball, and we see what happened. So he and I have made a deal that we're staying away from the Kool-Aid for baseball.
You cannot drink the Kool-Aid, but still know, no matter what, our team is going to be good. We might not be great, but we will be good. And if we lose a midweek, and if we lose in Little Rock, hold your panties.
I'm gonna be that. I'm just gonna play devil's advocate here. All right, I'm gonna see how wound up I can get Sarah, because it's been a while since I've been on. We said the same thing about football. We're gonna be good.
Rock game again,
and we said the same thing about basketball.
Y'all were in football. We're gonna win a natty. I told y'all.
Whoa! We roll the tape back. I don't think neither one of us.
Not y'all. I'm saying Hog fans on Twitter.
All right. Okay. Okay. Because I was fixing to be like,
I saw a lot of 10-2 predictions. Yeah.
Yeah. The Hog, they were we're only gonna lose 2 crazy. With basketball, I told y'all after the red-white game, this team is kind of. I don't know yet.
Mm-hmm.
I told y'all I don't like the way some of this stuff is going. I told you I didn't like it. But Pinion scoring the most points was not a good thing.
I think one of the things with this baseball team is we're waiting to see the injury bug and where it hits and when it hits.
Shut up.
I'm being realistic because that's how we do it here. I'm being realistic.
If
we were talking about this.
If I know where I'm gonna find out where you live if Daddy gets hurt.
Actually, he's not one I had in my head.
He's not one I had. I mean, he's not the one I had.
Yeah.
But no, in reality,
yeah,
I think even with injuries, we have a deep enough bench to where we could be okay.
Mm-hmm.
But again,
when coaches come into my job and are giddy and ready to talk about it because the team looks so good.
Yeah, but Sarah,
that's when you know it's going to be good.
We said the same thing last year. Deepest pitching staff that DVH has ever had, and every single one of them was dropping like flies. I'm only making this as a devil's advocate.
We also played one of the best teams in the nation the first round, so
I'm only saying this
weather week.
I'm also saying this as a devil's advocate. I didn't say I believed any of this.
I also don't want to host. I don't want to host regionals.
I don't either. I'm with you. I don't want to host either.
Personally, don't want to host. I don't think we do as good. As much as I want to stay on the sidewalk for a whole week with my friends, I don't want to host.
Who do we have in Little Rock this year, by the way?
Yeah.
PB.
Yeah, Pine Bluff. Yep.
Okay.
Yep. And that is March or April. I was trying to look for that.
And then our first
April. I thought it was like April 16th.
Yeah.
It might be the same weekend as the Red-White game.
It might be. Our first series is down in Globe Life, right? We're back at Globe.
Nope.
Are we in Houston?
James Madison, Friday, Saturday,
No, we
Sunday,
have a
Monday.
home series. Yeah.
Friday through Monday, the weekend before Globe Life.
Okay, so we are back at Globe Life, but it's not the first. Oh, it's not opening.
We have opening weekend, which is a 4-day series, Friday through Monday.
Yeah.
And then that Friday we play at 7, Saturday we play at 7, and Sunday we play at noon or 1, something like that.
And those aren't going to be on.
Will be in the Globe. I will be watching Hawg baseball in my glittery hat.
And do you remember who our first opponent is at Globe Life?
Oregon State.
Yep.
I hear payback bill.
Oregon State.
I know my stuff. I know it. I might not actually know anything about what's going on the diamond, but I know about what's happening.
MC, we have now shifted into her neck of the woods, so we have now come.
Not really. I'm a basketball girl through and through. I only know the schedule because my friends have been preaching it to me. And y'all, we're bedazzling hog hats. So if y'all are ever at a baseball game and need to find me, just look for the bedazzled hog hats.
Like, are we still going to get MC to hold the D?
Yeah, it's not
the old these.
Yeah, I'll show you a picture.
Yeah,
they wore them last night in the basketball game.
They're shiny.
Oh, I did. I saw that. Yeah, I saw that. Yeah, those will definitely stick out. We
me and my friends. This is what we look like.
Yeah, I saw that.
Shout out to Jill's head.
That's pretty cool.
She wore it last night.
So I saw
they've already finished theirs. I was on vacation, so I got to start mine ASAP.
Behind. You're just behind.
Okay, they're $400 a piece.
Top freshman class. So Matt, that comment there from Matt's an old buddy of mine from high school. Said
they're $400 a piece if you'd like to donate.
Get a bedazzled hat.
I might make you one.
Yeah,
Sarah, if you can make him a bedazzled hat and have him hold the D in Daddy.
Hold the D in the bedazzled hat. Yes.
Yes. Because that is going in the new intro.
Oh God!
If you can pull that off,
that
is going in the new intro.
I don't know.
I could bedazzle you a beer hat if that's better.
That might seem too heavy.
We're doing that too.
Okay, now that might work.
That might work. We're doing our cups. We're doing a lot. We're gonna shine out there because we're the stars.
As we're wrapping up here, though, we're getting off rails. Let me circle back here. As we're wrapping up here, because we're getting off in the weeds.
Baseball's gonna be great. And don't let Zach
top
tell you
freshman class in the country.
Whoa! Why you gotta put those freshmen?
Those freshmen are so sweet. They come into my job all the time, and they're all so nice.
Back this gravy
families are so nice. Their parents are going to come out in the hog pen and take pictures with us. They love us holding up the D. It's great.
Yes, Trevor, you can finally watch us and you join in on this. It's a hell of a show to come back to, right?
We just love the Hogs. I love the Hogs.
Hey, big shout out, by the way, to the gymnastics team, by the way.
Oh, yeah, I'm going. I don't
know.
The next meet's the 26th.
I don't know jack crap on how it scored, but apparently we got one of the highest scores in school history, so kudos to them.
It was the highest score for the opening meet.
That's what it was. That's okay. See, I told you, I don't know jack crap about it, so.
I don't know either, but I'm going to learn next week. I'm going to the meet. I'm going to sit next to Jenna, former gymnast, and learn.
I expect you to give us the 411 and crash course. Yeah, and Trevor, I did mention that, by the way. I did mention to the show that we've agreed not to drink the Kool-Aid until we're in Omaha. So, hold
up. If you don't drink the Kool-Aid all season, do not start in Omaha. I
mean, I'm sipping it.
No,
I'm just cautiously
That's true.
optimistic.
That's a very good point.
But yeah, no, I agree. I mean, I'm sipping the Kool-Aid. I just don't want to go head first in it. You know, kind of how I did with football and basketball.
Yeah, but let's not start when we're in Omaha, because that's just a bad omen.
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
You know,
if you're still sipping by that point, then you just keep sipping.
But we will be in Omaha, and I will be there even if I have to sleep in my trunk. I don't care.
So you're throwing it out there now that the season ends in Omaha.
I need to see a few games, but we have the possibility of being there. At least past Supers. I think we can at least make it past Supers, which is Omaha. I can't promise you the final game.
Mark the tape.
But
mark the tape.
All right.
You never know what we're going to say until we say it.
I did not say they would be in the final game, but I think they have the ability to make it to Omaha.
Yeah, I would agree that the talent's there. It's just you got to get a little bit of luck along the way. And we've just, we've got to avoid the injury bug, I think, is the biggest thing.
And Daddy
That's
Dig's
what's hindered us the last year. So.
That's what's going to happen.
All right. I like it.
It is great to be back. We are back in full force for 2024. New intro and apparently new opinions, new attitudes and everything. We don't know how we're going to do the show as far as MC. We kind of talked about it as far as, with Razorback basketball. Kind of give them the lowdown as far as what we're talking about.
Yeah, let me get back into the schedule here real quick for basketball, because I know that, so next Wednesday night will be the 24th, and we play the late game again at Ole Miss. So what we had talked about doing was on the nights we play the late game, doing a pregame show, maybe like 6:30 to 7:30 or whatever, to kind of lead into the broadcast of the game. I am going to be out next week because all of this weather-geddon, white death, whatever, has wreaked havoc on my daughter's basketball schedule. And so now we're going to play like the next 3 Wednesday nights in a row. So I may have to do a live spot from the Warrior Dome or wherever we're playing the next few weeks in order for me to be a part of the show. But that's what we had talked about doing, was either doing a pregame or a postgame, depending on if Arkansas played the early game or the late. So with them playing at 8 o'clock next Wednesday night, my initial thought was to have pregame show about 6:30 or maybe 7 o'clock, go 30 to 60 minutes, depending on what all we got to talk about, and go from there. But since I'm at the
just leave the cameras on while we watch the game. Leave the cameras on while we watch the game.
We've tried that, and you ought to see the tape. Let's just put it like that.
I mean,
beep, 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 beep.
The delay made it unintentionally comical.
Yeah, the delay was
unfortunately
kind of funny.
We don't have the Manning brothers set up where we have the direct feed.
That just means we got to get together and watch a game. That's all that means.
That's true.
We tried that in Little Rock and we saw how that went.
Look, man, y'all the one that put me up. Look. In my defense, y'all were the one that put me up in the rafters and had me pushing buttons.
You're the one that made your decision.
Yeah, Zach was up on the catwalk.
Had you told me you were coming earlier, I could have helped you out.
I wanted to be up there messing with the spotlights and plugging in, sticking the penny in the light socket.
Zach was the reason we got lights working after about 20 minutes because he was up there close enough. He could just kind of reach up and tighten the bulbs a little bit and make sure they were working.
See? It had it not been for me, we'd have been playing in the dark. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
Oh, man. But that's going to do it for us here at Inside the Hog Pen on this first show back in 2024 with the whole crew. Like I said, big shout out to Katie. Hey, if you guys want to sponsor our show, we have sponsorships. Hit one of us up. Hit us up on the page. We would love to have your business on our page, and we'd love to work with you. Until next week, Marcus MC Carlton, Sarah Swish Vogel, I'm Razorback Zach. You have been watching an all-new episode of Inside the Hog Pen. Until next time, so long, everybody.